All right, everybody, let's talk about what happened in the stock market today. Upper left-hand corner. This is October 5th, 2021, just after the futures market closed. You can see here, this is the E-mini S&P 500 futures. Just for the record, guys and gals, I trade the E-micro, but I look at this data because it has better history that goes back much further. Wow, the range today, huge, another huge day, 90 and 3/4. My goodness. These have been just monstrous days. Well, you can see, as I talked about yesterday, the candlesticks for the last 4 days have just been trading sideways. I mean, their range has been massive, definitely tradable candlesticks. But the price action's just been going sideways. So, here's the cycle we're in. If you don't know about cycles, this is a cycle right there. That's an element of time that runs from left to right, from the past to the future. Okay, and right here in the middle, this yellow line is the middle of the cycle. So approximately where we're at now is the middle of this cycle, right? And it's typical to see price action just kind of stall, even though these candlesticks are huge. Price action just been moving sideways here the last 4 days. You can see there at the top I said, stall in the middle of the cycle. Sure enough. So kind of expected behavior. Down here, you can see the stochastic momentum index is starting to try to cross over, so I'm going to be paying attention to that. Which, by the way, stay around till the end of the video. I'll tell you whether or not I made any trades today. If I did take any positions, did I have a profit or loss? I think it's going to surprise a lot of people to see what happened today with my trading. Okay, below that, you can see the Big Daddy forecast is slowly trying to work up. So are we going to see price action go up a little bit like that? Or is it just going to track sideways? When I come back to the end of the video, I'll give my opinion about what I think could possibly happen tomorrow. Just, my opinion just about where we're headed with this cycle. Okay, the VIX down here, man, continues to be elevated. Look at this VIX, guys and gals. I mean, just look at it. The average VIX is like somewhere in here since the beginning of September. Throughout the summer, it's more like down there, right? Look at that. So you can see the difference in the average of the VIX has been pretty significant, comparatively speaking, from back in the summer, right? So this is kind of typical this time of year, September, October, November, somewhere. We always, not always, but usually we see volatility spike this time of year, so not completely unexpected. Okay. All right, let's switch over. I'll come back to this at the end. Okay, there you go, guys. Wow, right? Look at that huge loss. $4,582.50 loss. Yeah, ouch. How did that happen? Let's talk about that. How did this get away from me like this? Aren't I the guy that always makes money? Aren't I the guy that always profits every day or almost every day? Well, clearly not on this day. So what went wrong? I think it's really important, too, to just listen to my voice. Do I sound upset? I mean, I'm not happy that I had a loss today, a fairly big one. But do I sound upset to you guys? No, I don't. And there's a good reason. We'll talk about that as well. Okay. So what went wrong? Well, a few things. 3 things that I'm going to point out that went wrong today. Okay. 3 rules that I almost always adhere to that I broke today, and that's why I lost a bunch of money. That's why I wasn't profitable. Number 1, I didn't cut loose this position when the losses were small. And I talk about that all the time. Breaking my own doggone rules here, guys and gals. When this thing was $300, $400, $500, $600 running a loss, should just cut it loose. Take a couple deep breaths, relax, and go on to the next day. It happens. Didn't do it. Broke rule number 1. Rule number 2, wait for confirmation. Now I ask you, does this down here look like confirmation to you? No, it doesn't. We got the momentum just stalled down here at the bottom. That means the market's not sure which way it's going. If anything, it's suggesting it's going to start going up. But right now, it's a little bit undecided, right? So this is not trading during confirmation. Okay? And lastly, and this last one's a little bit, well, there's 2 more things I want to talk about, but the third one I want to talk about is, this is a little bit of a minutia that a lot of people don't know about, is we're right in the middle of this cycle. Right in the middle of it. That cycle right there. We're right in the middle. And when you're in the middle of the cycle, I have a rule That is either don't trade at all during the middle of the cycle. I even talked about this in the comment section, one of my videos recently with another subscriber. Either don't trade at all during the middle of the cycle or trade very small. That's a third rule I broke. And these aren't really like, I mean, they're almost rules. They're like, I really follow these pretty stringently. And that's why I'm profitable. Okay? But not today. Okay, so those are the 3 rules I broke. Okay? But here's the thing. The deep dive. Why did I break them? And I'm going to tell you this, the psychology behind why, what happened today, why did I break these 3 rules when I'm always so disciplined and follow them? Okay, and no, I didn't take a loss today for clickbait on a YouTube video. Some people are probably thinking that, but no, trust me, I didn't do that. Okay, so what happened? What's the psychology behind this? Why did I break these rules? What happened? As a lot of you know, have been following my YouTube channel the last however long, and to you new subscribers, welcome to the YouTube channel. You know I make $1,000 a day. That's very common. For the last, I don't know how long. $1,000 a day, $500 a day. You all see it. I always show my profit loss at the end of every video if I had a position I closed. Okay? So what happened? You know what happened? Got too cocky, too confident. That's what happened. I think subconsciously that's what happened. Right? I've had so many successful days that I just blanked out on the rules I follow. And in the middle of the cycle, and when momentum down here was in undecided territory, I just blanked out. And that's what happened. See, I'm human. It happens. People make mistakes. Break my own rules. Okay? So can't go around with almost like this invincible attitude. You know, I think subconsciously, I don't walk around thinking that way necessarily, but I think subconsciously, you know, we get into these little pockets and we think, you know, it can't happen to me kind of thing, I guess. You know, that's the way I rationalize what happened today. The reason I know what rules I broke, and the reason I broke them is because I've been on fire with trading, right? I mean, the trading has been on fire for like, you know, a month and a half, which is awesome. Okay, so there it is, guys and gals. Listen, how many YouTube channels are going to show you profits and losses like you guys? I show you guys every day. Every day I show you my profit loss, even when they're big ones like this. Okay? I just keep it real on this channel because these kind of days are going to happen occasionally. Okay? What I'm not going to do is, I want to talk about this too real quick. What I'm not going to do is go cry and curl up in a corner and I'm not going to trade for 3 weeks or a month. No, I'm not going to do that. You want to know why? Because I know that my trading is good. And that's not arrogant or cocky. I have history behind me that says that I'm a really good trader. I'm not going to abandon that now. I'm not going to throw away all the good trading days because of one bad trading day, even if that's probably like 3 or 4 days worth of profits right there for me. Maybe even more, maybe 5 days, whatever it is. Okay? I'm not just going to just suddenly say, I stink as a trader, because I know that's not true. So you can tell from my voice, I'm not emotionally distraught, right? I'm not thinking, I've got to get that money back. That's a really bad way to trade. I'm not going to think like that at all tomorrow. This money is gone. Just kiss goodbye and let it go. And move on to the next day. Because that's how champions are, guys. That's the spirit of a champion. Short memories. They press on to the next day, the next event, whatever. And just keep going because I already know my profits are going to outrun any losses I have. I've proven it already many times. And when you get to that place in your trading, you don't have to be freaking out and crawl in a corner and cry for months on end or weeks on end and trying to figure out how to recover from your emotional, some emotional lapse, right? So don't think like that. That's why I always tell everybody, start small until you become a good trader. And then you can get to the place like you hear me today. I'm not upset about this loss. I don't like it, but I'm not upset. I'm not emotionally distraught over it. I'm just going to move on to the next day. Okay? And I'll make sure I follow the rules. Because if I had just followed those simple rules today, I would have either had a really small, probably a small loss at worst, or I would have been profitable, or I wouldn't have traded at all. So there you go, guys. I mean, how many YouTube channels out there do you know that show you their profits and losses? Almost none of them. I think I know one guy's like a multimillionaire. He shows his profit and losses every day. You all probably know who I'm talking about. I forget his name. Okay, he's like the only guy I know that shows his profits and his losses. Almost everybody else, they show their charts, their technical data, blah, blah, blah. They're all experts, but they never show anything. They never show their positions. They never show whether they close any positions. And if they do, it probably always just profits. I easily could have lied today, right? I could have said, I didn't trade today, guys, because I'm just watching the market. Or I could have said, I still have my position on and I'm just waiting for, I didn't close any positions today. And that would be a lie. But I'm not going to do that on this channel, guys, because I want you to see what it's like to be a real trader. This is the real world of trading. And those other people that never show their profits and losses, you know what they're doing to you guys? They're lying to you. Because their ego is standing in the way of being truthful. It also, I believe, stands in the way of them being good traders. Because when you're honest, you evaluate like you just heard me do, and you become a better trader for it. And you don't dwell on the past. Okay? Okay, so there you go. There's my profit loss for the day. Let's finish up the video real quick with the S&P 500. I think this candlestick, the way it pulled back here today, guys, and we are, like I said, still in the middle of this cycle here. Still in the middle of that cycle right there. This candlestick kind of pulled back, which is very interesting. Like I said, it pulled back at least almost a third of the total range of the day, or maybe like a quarter or a third of the range. So that's not a weak candlestick, as I said earlier, but it did pull back kind of significantly there. So I'm not sure what we're going to get tomorrow specifically. I'm refraining from talking about green and red candlesticks right now in the middle of the cycle. Okay, but I would be really surprised over the next week as we head towards this cycle low. I would be surprised, like I said earlier, see the price to really go up hard and hit that trend line, though it could. I'm more inclined to think it might come up a little bit, or just come up in this area and then come down. But either way, regardless of what it does, sideways or just kind of goes down from here, either way, we're going to kind of wait to see what it does on this right-hand side of this cycle, somewhere right around in there. Okay, kind of like going into next week, right? Early next week. That's going to be the real week that kind of tells us for sure. Maybe even later on in this week, Friday-ish, we'll kind of get a better feel for what's happening with the price action as we head towards the right side of this cycle. All right, guys and gals, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to click that little bell so you get notified of all the videos as I put them out. We'll talk to you all real soon again next time.